Go.
Good afternoon, Miss Stemn's class. My name is Mrs. Tiffany Wells, and I will be your mystery reader today. I am getting ready to read you one of my favorite childhood books of all time. It's called The True Story of the Three Little Pigs. And tell me, this story is awesome, and it is the true story. So here we go. The True Story of the Three Little Pigs by A. Wolf. Everybody knows the story of the Three Little Pigs, or at least they think they do. But I'll let you in on a little secret. Nobody knows the real story because nobody has ever heard my side of the story. I'm the wolf, Alexander T. Wolf. You can call me Al. I don't know how this whole big bad wolf thing got started, but it's all wrong. Maybe it's because of my diet. Hey, it's not my fault. Wolves eat cute little animals like bunnies, sheep, and pigs. That's just the way we are. If cheeseburgers were cute, folks would probably think you were big and bad too. But like I was saying, the whole big bad wolf thing is all wrong. The real story is about a sneeze and a cup of sugar. It's the real story. Way back, once and upon a time, I was making a birthday cake for my dear old granny. I had trouble sneezing cold. I ran out of sugar. He's making his cake for his granny. So I walked down the street to ask my neighbor for a cup of sugar. Now this neighbor was a pig, and he wasn't too bright either. He had built his whole house out of straw. Can you believe it? I mean, who is in their right mind would build a house out of straw? So of course, the minute I knocked on the door, it fell right in. I didn't want to just walk into someone else's house, so I called, "Little pig, little pig, let me in." No answer. I was just about to go home without the cup of sugar for my dear old Grammy's birthday cake. That's when my nose started to itch. I felt a sneeze coming on. Well, I huffed and I snuffed. Achoo! I sneezed a great sneeze. Wow, look at that sneeze. He blew everything down. And you know what? The whole darn straw house fell down. And right in the middle of the pile of straw was the first little pig, dead as a doornail. He had been home the whole time. It seemed like a shame to leave a perfectly good old ham dinner laying there. So I ate it up. Think of all the big cheeseburgers that you normally eat. I was feeling a little better, but I still didn't have my cup of sugar. So I went to the next neighbor's house. This neighbor was the first little pig brother. He was a little smarter, but not too much. He had built his house out of sticks. I rang the doorbell. Nobody answered. I called, "Mr. Pig, Mr. Pig, are you in?" He yelled back, "Go away, wolf. You can't come in. I'm shaving my hairs on my chinny chin chin." I had just grabbed the doorknob when I felt another sneeze coming on. I huffed and I snuffed and I tried to cover my mouth, but a sneeze came on. Achoo! And not just going to believe it, but this guy's house fell down too. When the dust cleared, there was a second little pig dead as a doornail in the middle of the floor. Now, you know food will spoil if you just leave it on the open. So I did the only thing that was a good citizen was to do. I had a dinner again. Think of all the second helpings. I'm getting awfully full, but my cold was feeling a little better, and I still didn't have that cup of sugar of my dear old granny's birthday cake. So I went to the next house. This guy was the first and second little pig's brother. He must have had the brains of the family. He had built his house out of bricks. I knocked on the brick house, no answer. I called, Mr. Pig, are you in? And do you know what the rude little porker answered? Get out of here, wolf. Don't bother me again. Talk about impolite. He probably had a whole sack of sugar, and he didn't give me even a little cup for my dear sweet old granny's birthday cake. What a pig. I was just about to go home, maybe make a nice birthday cake instead of a cake, but then I felt my cold coming on. I huffed, and I snuffed, and achoo! Then the third little pig yelled, and your old granny can sit on a pin. That's so rude. Now, I'm usually a pretty calm fellow, but when somebody talks about my granny, I get upset. When the cops drove up, of course I was trying to break down this little pig's door. And the whole time I was huffing and puffing and sneezing and making a real scene. The wolf got really upset. The rest, I must say, is history. The news reporters found out about the 2 pigs I had for dinner. Who would have thought? They figured a sick guy going for borrow a cup of sugar didn't sound very exciting. So they jazzed up the story with all that huff and puff, and they made me the big bad wolf. That's it. The real story was framed. But maybe you could loan me a cup of sugar. That's it.